Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today's Saturday, January 30, 2010. And today we're reading in Psalms 10. And as always, as I'm reading it, there's so many different things I'm getting from it. But I encourage you, as always, to read it for yourself. See what you get from it. Email us and we'll put it on the blog. But we see here in this psalm, David is speaking. But one thing, even just from reading the entire psalm, that I noticed is that before we've read about David, we read David saying, put your trust in the Lord, and he's the only one that you can really trust in. And then we see in this chapter, in this psalm here, that he's saying, why do you hide in times of trouble? And one point I would just even bring up just from that is you can see David experience some up and down times, and that's something I guess that many of us can relate to. Cause sometimes you feel gung ho and totally ready to do anything, and other times you go through a lull or some kind of a low point. But this is something that we can even see is evident with David, that sometimes it's like the Lord is always there with him, and put your trust in him. That's the only way to go. And then he's in this one saying, why hide yourself in times of trouble? So this is something, like I said, we all kind of go through this up and down time, and it's just something I noticed as I was reading even about David from this psalm. In addition to that, what I also want to share, because he's talking here about how come the wicked they seem to do well, and God, he's really talking to the Lord to punish them for their wickedness or what have you. But a lesson that we can get from that is, and this is how I kind of view things in regards to looking how other people, because you may see other people and they may appear to be doing well, and you may know that they're not doing exactly right according to the Lord or whatever, but you don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes, and the only thing you can really be responsible for is your own self. So it's not to worry about what other people are doing, because they, like I said, they can appear that they're doing wonderful and they're getting by, skating by with different things, but in reality they may be suffering and just putting on a good show. So all you can really worry about is yourself, and make sure you're doing the right thing, doing what you know is successful for you, what is working for you, and keep your relationship with the Lord, and do what you know is right to do, and don't worry about what other people are doing, because in the end, ultimately that has nothing, that don't have anything to do with you. You need to concentrate on yourself and make sure you're doing right, because like I said, you may see something that is not really all there is to see from another person. Then even in that first verse of this psalm, he says, why hide yourself in time of trouble? And it just made me to remember, there's a poem, Footprints, which probably many of you have heard of, but it appeared to this person that they was going through the struggle and they was all by themselves, and in reality that was when the Lord is with them the most. So what we need to remember is that the Lord is basically is always there, even when we may feel like he's hiding himself or that he's not around. He is there. If you remember even the story with Job, the Lord was with throughout that whole book of Job. The Lord was with him, even though he was going through his thing. And even the evidence of that is that at the end of it, he's telling them what they were talking about. So the Lord was there with him the whole time, even though he was going through his challenges. But the Lord was with him because he knew everything that him and his friends had talked about in that book, and he of course responded to that. So even though we may feel that the Lord is hiding himself, the Lord is still there. And just like that Footprints poem, if you haven't read it, then just do a search on the internet or whatever. You can read that poem, and you'll see that's just another reminder to us that when we think that we're all alone, the Lord is still there. So these are a couple of things, like I said, I got from reading the Psalm, and there's really so many other things too But this is what I want to share with you this morning. With that, create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we'll talk again tomorrow.